Hi you guys, so I am going to be showing you how I made my very first lace frontal wig. Now, this hair does come into a box. This is West Kiss hair. I have the inches, all 22 bundles and a 20-inch frontal, and of course it comes with lashes. And it also comes with this book, and I thought that was very nice. Like, a lot of companies that send me hair, they don't come with informative books, and this just shows you the types of textures that they have, the types of frontals they have, how to measure your bundles, what type of lengths you need, the closures. They also have the 360 lace frontals, and they also have ombre and platinum hair. And they also tell you about the hair care. They tell you about some giveaways and contests that they also have, and I just thought that was really cool. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the tutorial, and I'm gonna continue to talk about the hair as we go on. So this is the frontal that I have. I had to customize it, and I just cut those two ends off. I customized my lace closure as well, so I'll link that video in the description. But as you guys can see how I pinned the hair down, and I use this specific type of cap. It's a mesh cap. It's kind of like a dome cap, but it's not as spandexy. And the first mistake that I did make is I did not sew through the actual band. I only sewed through the top layer of the fabric. You want to sew all the way through the band. That is very important, because if not, then your band is going to snap back when you cut the extra lace off, and it's going to become even more stretchy. Now you guys can see that I did pin the closure a little bit over the cap. That's just personally how I did it. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and start sewing. You want to make sure that your line is completely straight, and you only want to sew at the back of the closure where that thick band is. You don't want to sew on the edges. You don't want to sew the edges down. And I'm just doing a simple blanket stitch method, and that's just going to ensure that my closure stays really flat, and it's going to also make sure that I don't have any bumps or anything like that. I do really need to get some T-pins, but a little bit about this hair. I really love it. I didn't think that I would ever come in contact with a company that would be willing to send me the frontal and as well as the bundles, because I've had a lot of trouble with companies lately, and I just want to especially thank West Kiss Hair for literally hooking me up with these beautiful bundles and my very first frontal. This is very special to me because, you know, I've never made a whole wig before. I have shaved sides, so this was really special for me. It does have a natural feel to it. Now I am gonna say that it did have a very strong permy or texturizing type smell, but that came out with a couple of washes with very fragrancy perfume and deep conditioner. So that came out, but it also did kind of make the hair a little bit fluffy, so you know, it acts more like natural hair, when you walk outside and it's humid and your hair kind of tends to get a little frizz. But I don't mind that. I really love that about that, because it makes the hair look a lot more natural, because nobody's hair is just silky straight like that, nobody's hair. So I like the fact that it does resemble natural hair, because it did come off someone's head. So but yes, all you guys see me doing is just stitching and making sure that my line is completely straight when it comes to my frontal. Now we're gonna go ahead and start off with our bundles, and I did double my wefts. All through the video I did do the fold over method. Some of the wefts were cut because, like I said, I've had to make this wig 3 times, 3 to get it right. So I am doing the same thing. I am sewing through the band, so that way when it is cut, it doesn't snap back and it doesn't get extremely loose, if that makes any sense. The first time that I did this, and I cut my frontal out, the band it was no good. Like, it literally sprung wide open, and it was so freaking hard to try to make it fit to my head, because I have a pea-size head, I have a very small size head, and I have shaved sides. So I don't have no hair for it to grab in the back or on the sides. So it was extremely hard to use the spandex dome cap, and it was extremely hard to use the regular wig cap that I normally use, which is like the mesh wig cap. So I'm just sewing in a blanket stitch method, and I'm gonna tie it off and cut that piece because it's too short, and I'm just gonna, secure that, and I'm gonna move on to the next piece of thread. Another thing that I really did like about the bundles, I'm sorry that I don't really have footage of that, because I was trying to scramble through finding the footage of how I got it out of the package. If I can, I will insert it if I can find it. But I really did like that the bundles, they came like with the blunt cut. They didn't come with like sparse or fray type ends. I did really like that. A lot of companies send me here and the ends are tapered a little bit, or they are a little bit, sparse. And I did like that they didn't send me bundles like that. Also, I do love that the track band, it's not thin, it's like sturdy. It's like in that middle, that nice middle, that middle consistency of what a band is supposed to be. And it's easy for me to do the fold over method with this. It's super easy for me to do the fold over method. Most times I would have to cut the wefts and then double up my wefts, but I really did like that I didn't have to cut my wefts. The only reason why I did cut my wefts was because the first time that I did the wig, I did it on a spandex dome cap, and I was scared that I wasn't going to have enough bundles. And when I took the wig off of the spandex dome, I did realize that this was a lot of hair. This was some very thick hair. I was very skeptical about it being super thick, but it was some very, very thick hair. Like, I could skip at least 2 or 3 inches, and it's like super thick. So what you see me doing here is I'm just showing you I'm gonna go in a moon shape pattern, or crescent moon shape pattern, and then when I get to the top of the head, I am going to start horizontally laying the tracks. Now, I did not show all of that because, again, this is my 3rd time making the video, but you guys can see the big gaps that I have at the top of the head, and it's still covers. So this right here is the last band, and I am going to sew that straight across, because when I flip my hair back, I want it to lay completely mesh to the frontal. I keep wanting to say closure, and I'm just gonna marry those two together. I'm gonna sew those two together. As you guys can see, I'm going underneath the track as well as underneath the closure too, and doing a blanket stitch method. Blanket stitch, yeah, blanket stitch. I thought that I would never ever have any other bundles that I would love besides the other videos I've done previously with some of the same hair. I thought I would never have some hair that I would really, really love this like as much as I did, but I literally feel like I've met my match. So I want to go blonde. I want to go blonde next. I have plenty more videos for this particular hair coming up, but I do want to go blonde. So if you guys want to send me some blonde bundles on a blonde frontal, you guys could go ahead and do that. I'll do a lot of reviews and videos for y'all. I really enjoyed this hair, even though it was kind of frustrating to deal with the wig caps. I still enjoyed this hair. Now I'm just gonna go back through the hair and kind of fill in some of the spaces, because I am intending to use all 3 of these bundles. I still have some left, so I'm just going in between the hair, and I am going ahead and sewing in between the hair as much as I possibly can, because I'm using every bit of these 3 bundles. Y'all know I do not like to leave hair out. Like, I really don't. I like my hair to be thick. I don't like no thin sparse hair. I like my hair to be thick, especially if it's gonna be a wig. I want it to be extremely thick. Like, I just love thick hair. I naturally have thick hair. When I didn't shave my sides, my hair was naturally thick, and I just love thick hair. It looks better on my pea-sized head. To me, it just looks better. So I am going to cut the excess lace from under, not lace, but cap underneath the lace closure, and I am leaving a little bit of it because I don't want, you know, the cap to pull back and oops, my, you know, my stitching comes undone. So I'm leaving a little bit of the band and a little bit of the mesh cap, so that way I could have this wig stay sturdy and lasting for a very long time. This is what I'm talking about right here. This band right here on the spandex cap, it was just it was strictly in the middle. Like, it was not on the sides, and I found that it was on this, it wasn't on the sides like you see right here, is because I did not sew the closure through the elastic band. I just sewed it on top, you know, of the fabric of the elastic band. So we're gonna use this band that came with the excess cap that we used, and we're just going to sew these down for our frontal to basically lay flat to our head. And I'm just going to go ahead and sew that, and I went over it twice because this band, we're going to be using it a lot, and you don't want it to break or rip your lace or anything like that. How to basically make your closure lay flat to your head and customizing your closure will be on Sunday, because this video will be entirely too long if I would have done it all together. So how to customize your lace closure will be coming up on Sunday. And I just basically did the same stitching method onto the other side as well. And I am going to be coming out with another video of how to make a customized wig cap for shaved sides or for girls who have smaller heads, because I did find that I did still had to like scrunch the bottom of the not lace, but the band at the back, and I had to sew that, but it doesn't really show. You can't see any bumps or anything, but I will come out with how to make a customized wig cap for, you know, your lace closure so it can fit tight to your head. That's coming up. So I just cut the excess lace off, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my wig on. And gosh, this is a lot of freaking hair. Like, this is a lot of hair. I just had my hair braided back and all that stuff, and I'm just kind of fitting it to how I would want it to fit. And I kind of put it over to the side a little bit more accidentally. I'm still getting used to this because this is my first time, you guys, so please bear with me. But I do still have a little bit of learning to do when it comes to gluing it down, actually, because the sides of my hair, they come out a little bit more further than the middle part of my hair. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to work that. I'm just putting a little bit of foundation powder onto my hair as well. I did put it on the lace too, so that way it'll blend a little bit better, because y'all know my hair is blonde and black, and it kind of looks like lemon pepper underneath the wig. So I am going to also go into more detail in the next video about the how to lay down your lace closure with gluing it down and all that type of stuff. But what you see me doing is putting down the first layer of the Got To Be glue gel and drying it cold, and my camera cut off when this was happening. So you guys will see the same thing, putting down the first layer and then drying it cold with the blow dryer, and then putting on a second layer and drying that till it's like at a tacky like feeling, not dry. I'm not the best with baby hairs, but I try to make it look as natural as I possibly could because I didn't want to overdo the baby hairs. You guys can see what I'm doing here, and I promise that I will go into more detail about this whole laying the closure actually down. I just wanted to get up how to make the wig down because I know you guys was gonna ask. So I am, you know, basically rubbing the tail of the rat tail comb down so that way my fingers don't heat up the product and it goes white. You don't want that. So I think it looks pretty natural. I think it looks pretty good. I didn't part it because I don't normally part my hair. But yeah, it lays pretty flat. It lays beautifully. So I really do hope that you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you give me a big thumbs up and subscribe and like, and make sure your notifications are on so Sunday comes and you'll have that video. And make sure you also check out West Kiss Hair. All the information will be down below in the description box. And I love you guys so much. Bye.